You're listening to the Original Gamer Podcast. I am the Original Gamer OG from original-gamer.com. We are starting our SGC celebration. With us today, the special guest, the man himself, the guy behind it all. It's the stuttering one, Stuttering Craig. Thank you for being on the show.
Hi, everybody. It's Craig. I'm talking like a gay man. No. What's up, guys? How's it going? It's nice to meet everybody and shake your hands. Hi.
Well, everybody's going to be excited because, we did a lot of coverage on SGC last time. The podcast that we've been doing up to a point, it's almost it's almost a little discussion here and there. So it's, you're always on our minds. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's both very flattering and creepy at the same time. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Thank you very much. And we really work hard to make sure that we're always on your mind. So we greatly appreciate it.
Now, what I wanted to get into, because I don't have you for long, so I'm going to do a quick rundown of the history of Screwattack. And you just say, yeah, that's right, or no, you're full of shit.
Whatever you want. There's so much stuff out there about Screwattack that is, people just kind of say whatever they want. And really, there's only one person who knows everything from beginning to end, and that's me. So yeah, I appreciate you coming because most people just assume whatever they read on Wikipedia is right, which is wrong. But go ahead, fire away.
All right, well, let's do this. It started up in 2006 as Side Scrollers, a gaming podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. Screwattack started. We had one feature, and it was side scrollers. The goal was to build around side scrollers, and then we realized that everybody in the world had a gaming podcast, and so we decided to start doing a little bit of video. So video is the way to go, and that's kind of how we got to be where we're at.
Now, you started up, of course, the history of Screwattack starts up with you and Handsome Tom. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole breakup because, frankly, there's tons of, there's tons of back and forth, there's tons of this and that, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into that, but what I want to get into is, how is it that 4 years later, you have sort of a personal kind of, you have a personal experience, something that's really shouldn't be out there for everybody to take sides on, but you have it. It's sort of like a nerdy Team Jacob, Team Edward that goes on, because I've been on that guy with the glasses, and some people say put up a Screwattack thing, and then people just, I hate Stuttering Craig. Why? Because he did. And then on the other hand, it's Screwattack, and then you do something. Some people do something there, and people are like, I hate Handsome Time. Why? Because blah, 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 blah. So you got like this nerdy sort of you take sides. How does it feel that there's something so personal is out there and people are taking sides for it?
That's actually like a phenomenal question, and thank you very much for asking that. It's something that, in terms of people are like, I hate Stuttering Craig, and I hate Handsome Tom. That's so dumb. Nobody should hate anybody, It's like the dumbest thing in the world. And in terms of like rivalries between that guy with the glasses and Screwattack, there is no rivalry. I know that, from personal experience that, I've talking with Mike Machado over there and Doug and they can't stand me. I don't know why, actually.
Wait. They can't stand you?
No, they can't.
What the
at
hell?
all? Like on a personal
I never
level.
heard that.
Well, no. I don't understand it. I know we've had, when you get on the whole Handsome Tom thing was a big moment for Screwattack because it kind of transformed us into what we are today, and it's allowed us to do a lot of things. But it's also I'm not going to say it's hindered us from doing anything because it hasn't, but it has put a negative connotation on us through what other people have said about me and Screwattack, which I never really understood because I've always very much said that if you have a problem with me or if you have a question about anything, I'll gladly answer your emails. I've never shied away from any question. I've always been very open about things. And, some people spend things certain ways, some people spend things other ways. But whenever I hop on a call with somebody and the first question they ask is, what really happened between you and Tom? That's not right. That it shouldn't matter, and everything that happened between me and Tom was put out in the public,
And there's tons of different ways people can look it up, whether it's your side, his side, different sides.
Or just email me. I'll tell you everything that happened.
And that's why I didn't want to delve into that because, again, there's 100 places out there to figure that out. But
there should really only be two, me and Tom. That's it.
But I love the fact that there is sort of a segment of the population that there is. So it's not a war because I think everybody sort of like calmed down a bit. I think maybe in 2009 everybody was kind of like, oh, the game heroes suck, but everybody's sort of like, okay, they're that, we're this. But the idea that this sort of breakup, personal business breakup, whatever you want to call it, is out there. Mm-hmm. It astounds me. I have a Black Guitar Hero Harlem, and if I broke up with him and everybody knew about it, it would freak me out. And if we, well, not, I just sounded gay for a second there. But if we did a professional breakup like that, and it was kind of personal to me, and everybody had their own take on it, it would kind of freak me out.
Well, it's one of those things where Screwattack we're in a situation where everybody that works at Screwattack, everybody knows. If you come to the site, you know who they are. If they come to the office on a day-to-day basis at the HQ, you know who they are. So if somebody leaves, it's a personal thing. And at the time, Screwattack was kind of seen as Craig and Tom, and then there was Ben, Mickey, and Jose. And they were just kind of like the little sidekicks and such. And so me and Tom were kind of seen as the big brothers or whatever, or the guys who started it and such. And so there was a connection between us both. And for me personally, it's something that a lot of people can't or haven't experienced. And me not going through something like that, it was difficult at times for me. But it was something that it's amazing how people still hold on to that. I mean, literally like 2.5 years later, that people are still clinging on to Handsome Tom sucks. Oh, Stuttering Craig sucks. It's like, dude, get over it. We're all gamers here, and one thing commonly binds us, and it's games. So I understand people taking sides in it, even as stupid as I think it is, because I've never said I've never said anything along the lines of anything derogatory. I think we've always taken the high road with all this stuff, but people hear things, and they hear things from other sides, and then that's how you formulate opinions. When Tom left, the one thing I wanted to do was send him off I wanted to make sure that he knew he was appreciated and that the community knew how much we appreciated him. And the opportunity was there. I remember the last conversation I had with the guy was okay, well, hey, let's do this send-off video and allow you to say goodbye to the community, And he said, okay, cool. And then nothing ever happened after that. I reached out to him a few times, and the next thing I know, there's a forum post saying, oh, I quit Screwattack or whatever, and F this and F that. And, well, it wasn't him saying that, but it was the cronies around him and such. So, it's like, people are going to hear things and they're going to think what they want to think. And, it's like, whatever, I honestly don't care what people think about me. I don't care if another website doesn't like us, because I've got too much to worry about at Screwattack and too much of a community to worry about, because, people come to Screwattack every day because, we're about fun and video games and fun content and doing cool things like SGC and Game Attack and other things we have in the pipeline and such. They don't come for drama. We don't want Screwattack to be about drama, but it's unfortunate that that's something that is such a big part of Screwattack's history was about ridiculous drama, Yeah. And it's, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, it's and the fact that the guys that guy with the glasses sort of take sides so quickly without even really even talking to you. It's kind of a shame. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised. I mean that's the way some things are. But it's a shame. It's a shame.
And the thing is, like I said, I don't understand why people need to take sides. We're all here to entertain you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So and as far as we're concerned, at Screwattack, we'll work with anybody. We'll gladly work with them over there, or they can we'd love to have them at SGC. Because the bottom line is that we're just here to service the gaming community. There's no hate for us towards anybody. Are there people that we think are dumb? Sure, but we don't hate anybody. Yeah. It's all the same.
Yeah, it's really it's a shame, but well, that's the internet for you. Now I want to jump into. When did you realize that sort of the site was taking off? Was there one particular video? Was there a certain podcast? Was there an article that you did? Like, for example, with us, I interviewed Belladonna, the porn star.
Yes.
Yeah, and because of that, I mean, Kotaku put it on their front page and blah 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 blah. Granted, I mean that could be the only time I get any sort of success, but I mean I like to say that I interviewed a porn star like Belladonna. What was that sort of one thing for you? What do you think that was?
I think the first time I really thought that we were doing something that was pretty fun, and by no means do I think that we've like quote unquote made it. And I hear that all the time. People are like, "Oh, you guys have made it," and we're like, "No, we have not," because we there's so much stuff that we have to do in on the internet. You always have to like reinvent yourself and make yourself relevant and new and all that fun stuff. But the first time I really thought we were onto something and doing something really cool was probably our first top 10 we did for GameVideos.com, which is now a part of OneUp. It was our first top 10, and we were expecting. I mean, we didn't know how many views it would do, and it did like 255,000 downloads, and we were like, wow. and we just like kept refreshing the page, and it was like, it just keeps going up. It was amazing, and it got on the front page of Kotaku, and Destructoid, I think, had just launched, and it got passed around all the news blogs and such, and it was really neat to see, and it was on Joystick, and then we were like, wow, this is pretty cool, and it was received fairly well, and we did another one, and it hit just as well. And then I was like, wow, I think we're doing something here pretty cool. So I think that was like the first time that I really felt like we were doing something that could reach people, and it would allow us to, do this as a living.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about, because in some of your videos, I always say, well, I mean, when I look at it, you got sort of a Tom Green-esque type approach where you're I mean, don't take it as an insult. I'm just saying that you're willing to sort of really push the boundaries and make other people uncomfortable. Like you had one at a gaming convention where you're just sitting all next to the guy and he walks away, he pushes himself away, and you get closer and he closer. I mean, is that just sort of natural to you that it's always been like that, or are you just there like I gotta just fight all the urges to just for the sake of a laugh? I gotta fight all the urges in my body.
Well, I fight the urges in my body every night.
Don't we?
But I guess the better question is: Are you a pest? Are you a natural pest? I guess when we go to these things, I'm an okay pest, but a lot of the times I do some of that stuff just to get a rise out of people, because I love seeing people uncomfortable and out of their natural element. And at gaming events, whether you like it or not, gamers themselves we're all, there's something wrong with every one of us, whether we're socially awkward or we're or we think a certain way about ourselves, or we're, whatever it may be. And I love to kind of push people into kind of an uncomfortable space. And, like very early on, it's like, I remember, just giving hugs to guys at conventions, like after interviews, very awkward, kind of like, later on, I guess a good comparison would be like a Borat, like where you just don't know what you do. You don't really know that what you're doing is wrong. You
just keep on going with it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's really hard. Like early on, I did a character called One Question Guy, and One Question Guy asks one question, and he just stares at you for as long as you want to stand there, and it's hard. I mean, I'm not, by no means am I like a comedian. I don't think I'm funny, so I'll like laugh. It's really hard to
you break character.
To stay in character, So and by no means do I, think that I'm a character by any means, but I just like to go in and test how people will react, because some people, I think Keith Apicary is the perfect example of
exactly. That's sort of the like the Tom Green of video game videos, if you will.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, he pushes things so far that it's just like, oh my God, it's like that guy's got balls of steel, and I would never do some of the things that he does. And at SGC, we say he's our biggest liability at SGC, but he's also one of our biggest assets, because he's so crazy, but he'll do anything, which is great. Oh, yeah. So it's all about just having a good time. Really, when you get down to it, it's just all about having a good time. And for me, having a good time is putting people in awkward positions sometimes, and sometimes it's about laughing at things, So.
Well, let's get into SGC. Let me see if this clip works. SGC. Sure. And come on.
Here it comes. Ric Flair walks out.
So we went last year to SGC.
That was nice.
And we went last year, because my whole experience with the whole Screwattack when it comes to SGC was that I was focused on the Iron Man of gaming. I saw you did 1 year, and I've always said to myself, man, I'm good at like Tekken, I'm good at SOCOM, I'm good at Halo, but I'm not the best of those games, but I need a tournament that encompasses multiple games. And sure enough, you had it. I didn't even realize it. I found out like after the 2008 one. So then SGC pops up. Now, how did you jump from Iron Man of Gaming, that competition, to simply a whole damn convention? Because your Iron Man of Gaming was part of another convention.
Yeah. Well, initially, the very, very first year we did Iron Man was actually at a Cyber Athlete Professional League, which was a CPL. We had like a 20 by 20 space, and we just were like, okay, we want to do this tournament, and it popped up like really, really quick. And we did it again in 2008, and it was fun. And there was a lot of people that showed up for the tournament, but I think the big eye-opener for me was when I went out to PAX for the first time, and I kind of saw how many gamers could come together at one time. And that's what we always wanted with our events was just a place where all gamers could come. And we realized that Iron Man, as cool as it is and as badass as a tournament it is, it's fairly limited, because if you're not into the competition thing, then you're probably not going to come out to it.
Right.
So then the idea of a con came up, and we're like, well, let's just do it. Let's just make it happen. So, and let's do it how we'd want to make it happen. How if we were going to go to a convention, let's make it how we do it. And at Screwattack, we're just like, okay, we're going to think of an idea and we're going to do it. And some ideas are bigger than others, and some are giant and some are small. SGC was a giant one, and I think it pulled off. I think it was pulled off really, really well. But I think it came together really, really well, and it was a great time. I mean, I think SGC might not even be the right name for it anymore, because it's more like a party. It's not so much a convention, and that's what we want all throughout the entire weekend. And we're really building for that for SGC 2010, just for it to be just a giant party, kicking off from the opening ceremonies to the time everybody leaves.
Okay, now I gotta really get into this because. Yeah, there's let's put it this way. When in regards to the Iron Man of gaming, I've been putting it out there, and speaking of the Iron Man, we're gonna have a little.
There you
go. So I want to put it out there because I've been talking about this for some time. Yeah. So what do you think that Jamal, the Iron Man of gaming, he ended up cheating.
What?
Yeah, because I competed last year, and I was about maybe 20th or so. And I looked at his videos because I talked to him at the SGC, and we were sort of, going back and forth, and then he put his videos up there. He's a champion. And I looked at it, and his Mega Man competition was cheating. And I'm going to bring this up because I brought it up before. With the Mega Man, the rules were you got to make forward, you got to make constant forward. You constantly got to be moving forward. He wasn't. He was constantly getting himself killed. And it was fairly obvious after the third time he did it. So with that, it's sort of like, well, shit, this fucker cheated. And to back it up, I talked with one of the other guys there. And he said, yeah, I was going to do that, but my person stopped me because he said I was cheating. So...
Well, I think that everybody has their own strategies with everything that goes on, and sometimes those strategies involve dying to get a higher score and such. But all of our staff is on the same page in terms of what's legal and what's not legal and such. And if there's ever a question involved, then it goes to Chad, who kind of oversees the whole competition. So as far as what's cheating and what's not cheating, ultimately the call was made that he wasn't cheating. So. Jamal is the 2009 Iron Man of gaming, and that's how it's going to stand.
All right. Well, I had to put it out there because that was one thing I was going to say that I was going to bring it up to you because...
Well, the last thing we want is for our champ to be a fraud and or to cheat. We cheating isn't allowed in any sort of competition that we do, and we keep a very close eye on that sort of thing. So, I definitely appreciate the concern. And we'll definitely keep an eye on it for 2010. But going into 2010, Jamal will be the reigning 2009 Iron Man of gaming.
Now, last year you brought in Jack Thompson. This year you bring in Uwe Boll. I'm getting from you a sort of like a wrestling promoter vibe, in that you realize that in the end, people want to see the bad guys. Am I just jumping to conclusions, or am I right on the money?
Well, not necessarily. I think people want to see entertainment, and that's the most important thing. Similar to if you want to talk wrestling, Vince McMahon is a phenomenal businessman who understands what his audience wants to see. Or if you look like a company like TNA focuses on producing a wrestling show, whereas WWE produces an entertainment show that focuses that has wrestling elements in it. We, like I said, when we build SGC every year, it's based on like who we would want to see. So naturally we wanted to see Jack Thompson. Naturally we wanted to meet Nolan Bushnell. Naturally we want to talk to Uwe Boll. We wanted to get Soulja Boy this year. Soulja Boy didn't want to come. There's all sorts of it's pretty much just comes down to who we'd like to see, and there's no name that's too big. We'll reach out to anybody. That we actually were getting ready to announce our another guest, and they pulled out, unfortunately, because the company they work for, who is one of the three main publishers, was a little concerned about coming to the event because, or at least answering questions in like an SGC atmosphere. So it was, our goal is just to bring in the people that we would like to see, because we figured if we want to see them, then the G1s and everybody who comes to SGC would like to see them.
So who was it? Was it like a David Jaffe? Was it
another company?
Was it Shigeru Miyamoto?
Right company, wrong person.
Oh, that guy.
No, well,
Phil Zane?
I'll tell you what. He's probably got the most notable voice in video game history. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
So anyways, we're gonna have him, and it's to each their own. It was a business decision and not a big deal. So, we'll grow in it, and we're working on getting. We're gonna try to get one more guest in at SGC, I think, and we'll see how it goes. But time's kind of running a little short. We're just a couple months out, so if we are going to get another guest, we definitely want to knock him down here pretty quick. So, but I'm pretty happy with our guest lineup right now. I think we're gonna have so much stuff going on, and besides, while SGC, while we want to have cool guests at SGC, the bigger thing is that we just have a big ass party, and that no matter if you come for the guest or if you just come to come, you're gonna have a great time regardless, and that's the ultimate goal.
Now, the last thing, because I'm gonna lose you in just a few minutes.
Sure.
Screwattack Gaming Convention, SGC, July 2nd through 4th, 2010. Would you be willing to trade all the success you have if the Mavs can win a championship, because the Spurs are going to beat them tonight? What do you think about that, huh?
What do I think about that? I think we'll see you in Game 7.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that Game 4 was a joke, and Game 5 was the way the series should have gone the entire way. And as long as they run and gun, that they'll have no problems walking past the Spurs.
Well, yeah, it's you've only done it one time past us, and
no, actually, I don't think the Spurs have won a playoff series against Dallas since 2003. I think that's what it is. So it's been almost a decade, sir.
But that's when it counted, when Steve Kerr lit you guys up.
Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
2000.
That's my favorite moment, Steve Kerr.
People remember Steve Kerr from the Bulls, not the Spurs.
No, well, those that know are fans of his will realize about that, because that's when he didn't play all playoffs, and he gets put in the last quarter and lights it up for 18 points or something.
Oh, man. Basketball talk. I bet people are riveted about this. 2003 playoff talk.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I'm sure I just cut out all the gamers right now. Just, oh, my God, they're talking about sports. Next, they're going to talk about Madden.
No.
All right.
I will talk about NBA Jam anytime you want.
Well, I'd love to talk to you about that next time because I still got plenty of questions, but you got to go. It's screwtech.com, SGC, July 2nd through the 4th, 2010. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be in the Black Guitar Hero. He's going to tear it up at Killer Instinct. He beat up on Destin, which I'm going to talk to Destin about tomorrow. And I'm going to go over there for the Iron Man of Gaming. So, once again, Stuttering Craig, thank you for being on the Original Gamer Podcast. For everybody, make sure to keep on tuning in because this is Original Gamers SGC celebration all throughout the month of May and June, only at original-gamer.com. So everybody, see you later.
Bye.